fired up to be back in the studio right now. My hair, look at this. This hair's coming back in, looking good, full on poof. I got nice poof action going on. In case you guys aren't watching on YouTube, where I always post these, dude, look at this right now. Business Move subtly slid that in there for you. Subtly slid that in, that these are all on YouTube right there. You got to be media literate. You got to look out. Even for me, dude, I'm keeping it honest, but you got to look out. I'm coming in hot. But just in case you're listening at home, I want you to hear this poof on my hair right here. That's just the microphone headphones rubbing against my poof. Aaron's in the studio. What up, Aaron?
What up?
It's been a few weeks since we've recorded, so fired up to get back in here, dude. Glad you see you're doing well. Anything dank going on? What's crapping, dude?
I mean, just been watching a lot of baseball now that my team no longer has COVID, so that's cool.
That's good. Yeah, it seems like things are doing all right. Look, I'm looking forward to a nice football season. You know, college, I get it. Kids aren't getting paid. You got to shut it down. You know, it's just too much risk. Even though it hurts me to say it, but the NFL, you know, these are our modern day gladiators. Maybe it's very Roman of me. Maybe it's very, very, very sick. I just, you know, pay them whatever they need to be paid. Pay these athletes. Get them out on the field. I need it. I need my fantasy. I've got a draft coming up with the boys. I'm a 3-time champ. It's sort of what I hang my hat on. So if I don't have it, you know, who am I? I'll be looking in the mirror for a long, long time, just asking myself, who am I? I'll be quiet at dinner with my GF. No one wants someone quiet. It's just us two eating. She'll be like, well, what's wrong? What's going on? I'll be like, nothing. It's not you. It's just things we can't control. She's like, well, that's sort of enigmatic. What are you talking about? Things you can't control? Like, what? What are you thinking about other stuff? Which is, no, it's just, I don't know. I just really want to draft McCaffrey right now, or maybe go for Saquon, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to, or if anyone's going to be able to. So honestly, for the health of, you know, society, I think we all need a dank NFL season. Looking forward to it. But in the meantime, I've been, speaking of dank dinners with my GF, dude, but it's been crushing outdoor meals on our balcony. I got some dank patio furniture from Wayfair. Got a freaking good deal, which, speaking of, you know, media literacy, which I just hit you guys with a little, you know, clandestine YouTube drop right there. You got to look out for these deals on websites where they're like, oh yeah, Wayfair, CB2, you know, Living Spaces, you know, some of my favorite websites to enjoy myself too. And they make you think you're finding a deal when they're like, oh, usually $500 right now, offered for $299, but type in this code and it's $175, and it's like, dude, things should have been $175 all along. Don't act like you're tricking me, freaking furniture websites. I know what you're up to, okay? I'm well versed by now, and I know what's up. Also, I dropped this on a few pods ago. Our online designer, Saba, is going to be having my GF and I's apartment decor, sort of, I guess you could say, she takes like it's not a snapshot, but it's something like a freaking dank, like just sort of what it could be. You know, we give her the parameters, the measurements, sort of our tastes. Like I mentioned earlier, I got freaking ripped. It was coastal preppy, which hurts because it's pretty accurate, but I'm interested to see what's coming back, and it's coming back soon. But until then, you know, me and Jeff and I just been crushing outdoor meals on the balcony, dude. We've been crushing dank. After I record right now, I got to go pick up some curry powder, dude. We're going to make some dank veggie curry tonight. It's going to be so legit, dude. And freaking dip some naan in there, some garlic naan, dude. Look out, dude. Having a dank outdoor meal. But I will tell you this, there's another couple, and it's become somewhat of a rivalry, but not a really rivalry, just like a vibe, sort of competitive vibe setting where it's like they like to eat outdoors on their balcony, and we have a sort of a courtyard setting going up, and you can kind of hear what everyone's talking about across the courtyard. So, and they like to eat around sundown. We like to eat right around sundown when it cools off. And so it's just sort of a race to who can get out there first and claim that space. Because when the second couple comes out, it's just sort of like, that's the shmole couple, and you feel like you're crashing even though everyone has the right to the space. So it's just sort of an interesting dynamic. So basically what I've done is I've just blast reggae beats out on my balcony to let them know that's their warning sign. And I feel like that's a mellow warning, honestly. Like if, you know, if it's a fire alarm and it's like reggae beats, I don't think that would get anyone out of the building. But as far as like, you know, claiming dinner space, I think putting on a nice little Bob Marley, dude, you know, Could You Be Loved, just putting that out on the balcony, letting them know I'm coming out. So the other dudes, this other couple has not done anything to counter that It's a passive-aggressive tactic by me, but I will keep you updated. But as for now, my GF and I at sundown, rest assured, we'll be eating dank curry on our balcony and enjoying, perhaps, a rosé. Maybe not. It's a weeknight. Maybe I'll just have one freaking dank IPA. It's a dank picnic-style thing, dude. Just eating on the balcony. Aaron, do you like to eat outside?
Occasionally, although in my neighborhood, sundown is when the mosquitoes are at their most active and hungry. So lately I've been trying to not do that.
You got to light a candle. That's why.
Yeah, that's true too. We have one of those zapper thingies, but I don't know if it's close enough.
True. They don't like the smoke. That's why I'm kind of actually fortunate now. I talked about this on Going Deep about the kids that were blazing it up on the balcony. And, maybe it's kind of nice. Maybe the fact that they're blazing it up keeps the insects away, and that's kind of nice. And, I'd rather smell weed smoke than cigarettes or cigars. Could you imagine if some teenagers were up there just lighting up stogies, drinking scotch? It'd be interesting. But what do these kids know that I don't, dude? Why are these kids already jaded, dude? Are one of these kids divorced? What's happening up here? Just housing a cheesecake, some scotch, and a stogie? Just trying to get a heart attack up there on the balcony? Then I'd really have to step in and intervene, It wouldn't just be about my annoyance at that point. Anyway, dude, that's what's up with me. Just freaking crushing it, dude. Fired up to be back in the studio, dude. Hair growing in, looking good, dude. Just freaking feeling dank, dude. Right now, we're going to share... This historical share comes from a dude named Matt, I think LeConte, dude. Let me see. I wrote his name down here, dude. There might be no Le in there. Oh, yeah. It's just Matt Conte, dude. C-O-N-T-E. And, dude, he let me know, dude. I want people to write in. Look, I'm coming at it with advertisements again right now. I want interactive stuff. The singularity is now, okay? Let me know, dude. Email me, StriderWilsonShreds@gmail.com. Dude, Matt sent in a freaking dank request. He goes, dude, as a history guy, I am stoked about your new podcast. Thank you, dude. I wanted to educate you on my family ancestor, Dan Sickles, dude. He's one of the most famous people no one knows today. And when Matt toured Gettysburg, he says that as a battlefield as a kid, the park ranger said during the Civil War era, Sickles was as famous as the Beatles, dude. And then he says, here's why. So I'm going to get into some research I did as to why. And I was fired up, dude. I heard this guy's name, Dan Sickles. I'm like, this dude must be sick. And it turns out he is sick, but not in the sick way. He's sick as in like, this guy's sick. So, freaking, first of all, Aaron, do you know who Dan Sickles is? Have you heard of this guy before?
No, never heard of him.
All right, dude. We're talking, I mentioned Gettysburg. We're talking Civil War era here, dude. All right, let me first just put it out this way. Okay, here's 2 things you need to know about Dan Sickles. Okay? Actually, hold on one second. I got to take this phone call. I think I want to keep this in the edit. Spectrum's calling me. They're coming to fix my internet right now, dude. So, I think we're chilling. Let me see. I keep track of this guy, dude. Got to keep track of the Spectrum guy right now, dude. That's what gets me fired up about multitasking. I've got a guy coming by to do work, which is legit, dude. When you're able to say in life that you got a guy, if you're able to be a business, maybe like, that's my guy, that's my firewood guy. He's got a place, he's got a cabin up in NorCal, brings me back wood for my fire, cuts the logs custom for me. That's my wood guy. I got my t-shirt guy. He runs a company, does prints and stuff. He does shirts for bands, hip bands that I don't even listen to. He does t-shirts for them, but guess what? I get a few of those shirts. He's my shirt guy. I got a car guy, comes by, washes it, gets stuff done. His name's Randy. It's my car guy. Gets it done. That's my wife guy. That's my guy who helps my wife enjoy while I watch guy. That's my guy. I got a guy for everything. Just want to make sure my wife's happy, man. I got to get a guy for that. And she's into it. She picked him out. He teaches yoga and jiu-jitsu. The guy's flexible and has power. He's also a great conversationalist. He's our guy. Who's the couple in the news that just had that? Aaron, the frickin' Junior?
Jerry Falwell Jr.
Yeah, Jerry Falwell Jr. Yeah. I'm sure he's got a lot of guys. He's even got a wife guy. Sometimes you need that. I don't know. Anyway, I got a Spectrum guy coming over pretty soon. So excuse me if I get interrupted and got to take the call for the guy. I like to talk like I'm from somewhere between Chicago and New York when I got guys. Okay? It's my guy. And I'll tell you right now, Dan Sickles, not my guy. Here's a little pre-teaser right now. There's a book about this dude called American Scoundrel. Okay? And Thomas Neely wrote it. And we're going to get into this dude being a scoundrel. And, you know, he has some qualities that maybe a lot of Americans, definitely in Sickles' era, Civil War times, freaking, that were admired. And sometimes to this day, even still admired. So we'll break that down maybe a little bit. So just you need to know, Dan Sickles, his birth year is disputed. The dude lived a long freaking life. So spoiler alert, he does not get murked in the Civil War. He goes on to do other things. You know, he's born into a prosperous family, dude, and a lot of times in like 1838, it's debated when he's born, like 1813, something like that. Anyway, you don't get bogged down in that, dude. His parents put him up in a household of Lorenzo Depont. Maybe that's why I wanted to call this dude Matt Comte, because I knew this name Depont was on my mind. He's French names, dude. So Sickles lives with this NYU professor and his wife, dude. They've got they're also boarding up this other couple, the Bagiolis, right? So the Bagiolis have a child living there and at this professor's house, dude. So they're just chilling there, dude, freaking gaining knowledge. Sounds like a sick scenario, right? So he's chilling there. He goes on, studies, dude, gets involved in the freaking New York political scene, dude. He becomes a lawyer, dude. He freaking opens up a law offices in New York in 1840s, dude. And he this is Sickles, quickly gains a reputation, questionable reputation for ethics and business practices, dude. He was indicted for obtaining money under false pretenses, dude. He even robbed the post office, dude. He just stole money from there, not like at gunpoint, dude. But he was just freaking, you know, being a little scoundrel about it, dude. And so he freaking gets into politics, dude. And you got to wonder, dude, he becomes a freaking heavy hitter, dude. People are liking this guy. And, you know, people even quote him saying, you know, he was sort of a lady killer. He was a charmer, dude. He led a life of a very fast young man, his contemporaries would say, dude. And, quote, money's poured through his fingers, dude. Where's he getting this money? He's jacking it, dude. This guy's just basically living a baller lifestyle, dude. And, but he shouldn't be. It's like he doesn't have that many skills, dude. His law office doesn't crush. He's not cracking any big cases, dude. He's not involved in any big cases. How's he getting things done, dude? Turns out maybe nefariously, dude. The guy freaking is well known at a local brothel or bordello, dude. Gets involved with a prostitute named Fanny White, dude. They fall in, and I quote, love, bro. And it's the type of love where, you know, maybe Sickles' political career was accelerated because Fanny White would take care of some gentlemen in prominent positions and maybe some of Fanny's friends, and who was setting this up, it was Sickles. So this dude was essentially a pimp, right? So it helped his career. And that's just sort of how stuff got done. You know, in the early 90s, people would be like, that's sick. Nowadays, we're a little bit more awake to these things, and we're like, dude, you know, people say prostitution's the oldest, you know, profession on earth. Others might say it's the oldest oppression on earth. I think I got to agree with the latter, you know? I mean, unless you can look, I'm not bashing, you know, want to get into this. I love the sex industry. Get after it. If you can be empowered, dude. A lot of my bros, they love cam girls, dude. Get after it, dude. But you got to be careful because there's dudes like Sickles who will take advantage and use it for their own favor, and he did, and it worked out, dude. The guy gets into some elected positions, dude. He freaking starts crushing it in the political scene. And remember earlier when I told you, Aaron, and Matt mentioned that this dude, Dan Sickles, what's he famous for? Right now you're just like, why are you even telling me about this guy? He sounds just like a weirdo, dude, right? Well, guess what, dude? This freaking dude is known for being the only dude to ever be acquitted, or the first dude in the United States to be acquitted because of, what's the exact terminology here, dude? He's the very, very first dude to be acquitted for temporary insanity, please. And why, you might ask? Well, do you guys remember when I mentioned that Sickles was posting up at DuPont's house, NYU professor, just learning? And there was the other family there, the Bagiolis. They had an infant daughter. Turns out, dude, Sickles marries that infant daughter. So not as an infant, obviously, but this is definitely some Twilight imprinting type shit going on here, dude. The dude was 20, and his daughter, his future wife, was born in that house. Now, he didn't know it, but later, the guy gets married around he gets married early, dude, and it's sort of like a shotgun wedding. And Teresa has a daughter, dude, Laura, that she gives birth to in 1853 before the marriage. And, he's got a political career, so things got to look good. He can't be seen as he's quoted as a lady killer, which is cool amongst the men, but from the outside, he's got to appear as a good guy. And, he can't let his womanizing get out. And so he marries Teresa. And maybe, he's convinced himself that he does love her, but I don't know if that's true because he continues to cheat on her a lot. So moving forward, freaking Sickles becomes boys with James Buchanan even before he's president. But it's good because he's got in ties and that helps him move up. He freaking goes to London to, be like a freaking prefect there or whatever. Not exactly a diplomat, but just going over there handling business. And Sickles brags about that on July 4th, there was a toast to the Queen's health, and that Sickles, he didn't do it. He didn't raise his glass, and he brags about that. He bragged about that to the day he died, which is just something that cracks me up about this guy's character trait. Just sort of the dude who just likes to. Sickles seems like the dude, if someone's getting a ticket on the side of the road, he loves to see that happening. He's like, good, you got that. And I can relate that to a degree if I saw the guy speeding, but if I see someone pulled over, I'm not happy about it. But Sickles just seems like that type of guy. Seems like the type of dude who, if you invite him on vacation for a nice couples weekend, he would save firing someone right before dinner and make sure to do it when everyone's in the room so they could see that he has that power. Oh, guys, sorry I was late. Hopefully the steaks are looking good. I didn't turn them over on time. Sorry, I had to fire someone. Sorry, guys, about that. Oh, dude, sorry I had to take a call real quick. Had to let this guy go. Yeah, wasn't producing like we could. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have a guy who handles firing for me, but sometimes I just like to step in and get it done, Got to get your hands dirty. That's what I do as a businessman. Just, what can you do? Just a bunch of these from Sickles, you'd imagine his whole life. Yeah, what can you do? But all manufactured. And you will see this guy manufactures his own existence. So this dude's a freaking total shmole, Sickles, dude. He marries Teresa when she's 17, dude. And they got a kid together, which means this is just some unhealthy stuff going on. Now, in those times, there was no legal age, but still, frowned upon. Looking back from my 21st century lens, tough not to judge, trying not to, but still, the dude's American scoundrel. Come on. So, when Sickles was gone, doing a lot of his, political things or whatever, it was commonplace for bachelors, which is just, it's kind of interesting. I don't quite know why, but bachelors who are also trying to work their way up in the political scene or prominent dudes in the Washington, socialite scene and political scene would escort someone's wife to any political fundraising events or whatever these parties. And so Teresa, being Sickles' wife, would be escorted by this dude who was boys with Dan Sickles, Philip Barton Key. And fun fact, he's the son of the Star Spangled Banner composer Francis Scott Key. So Barton Key, Philip Key, his wife dies, dude. So he's a widower, dude. So he's kind of the unicorn, dude. So, he's a good dude, family man. He's a lawyer. And in fact, after his wife passed away, his work production went down and Sickles had his back, dude. He even put in a call with Buchanan. I guess he had some sort of position in DC and Sickles picked up I don't know if he picked up the phone. I want to say he picked up the phone, dude, in the 1850s. Anyway, dude, he freaking writes Buchanan and lets him know he's got his ear. He's like, look, man, Philip Key, his family passed away, dude. He's a good dude, dude. Let him keep his job. Buchanan's like, all right, I'll let him retain that position. And so Philip Key is Dan Sickles' friend, dude. They're kind of boys, dude. And Sickles and Teresa would go there with Philip Key to certain events. And long story short, you might know where this is going. Teresa and Philip Key end up boning. Okay? They end up hooking up, dude. And now you might say, what the heck, dude? But, have a little sympathy for Teresa here. I'm taking her side on this one. First of all, Dan Sickles is cheating on her constantly. Second of all, she was married when she's 17 or whatever, has a kid super young, and then she meets this dude who's the unicorn. He's a widower. Talk to a lot of ladies today. Might be crude of me to say, it's a sick rhyme, but you know, that's sort of the unicorn right there. It's a guy who loves someone. Now it's a love lost, and there's ladies looking for new love, dude. Maybe out of a relationship of their own. You kind of want to lock a dude down like that, you know? He's a solid dude. So pretty tight. So I'm stoked for Teresa here, okay? And her and Keyes, they would have he rented a house not far from Sickles' place in Washington, D.C. During this time. And would frickin', even though Sickles was born in New York and he became like a frickin' New York politician and stuff, but he's in D.C., you know, doing his work in there and representing his state. And dude, they had like a little thing like Key would walk by and like pull out a white handkerchief or like tie it around the door, which would be a signal for Teresa, who would like whip out binoculars and spy it and be like, oh, okay, that means like no one's home or it's fine to go over there now. And then would go over and they would enjoy themselves. Okay? And it'd be legit. But then Sickles receives a letter from an anonymous source. And it reads this. Basically sets up the position. It says on February 25th, 1859, he receives this letter on his house on 15th Street. Okay? And it reads, for no other purpose than to meet your wife, Mrs. Sickles, he hangs a string, he meaning Keyes, out of the window as a signal to her that he is in and leaves the door unfastened, and she walks in, and sir, I do assure you, with these few hints I leave, the rest for you to imagine. First of all, I'm a little bit embattled internally as to this letter. It's like, all right, this guy had his boys back, Sickles, even though Sickles isn't quite the legit dude, and this dude's kind of a tattletale, but he's letting his boy know. So you can't be too mad about it. Sickles investigates by basically spying on them, dude. And he finds it out. He sees her go over there, dude. And sure enough, there you go. And what does Sickles do? He freaking makes his wife write a letter, a confession about the affair. This guy, see Sickles, he's always plotting. He's always working an angle. Also, dude, bummer, dude. Teresa, he gave his wife homework to do. What a psycho, dude. So he freaking gets this letter procured so that he can look good, because he's probably got some premeditated plan going on, right? So then Sickles is talking to all of his boys because he's worried about his reputation. Bros, what do I do, dude? I mean, like, I can't like have my friends laugh at me. I can't have a guy for my wife. Philip Keyes he's my friend. He's not my wife guy. I'm not the guy who has a wife guy. Trust me. I love boning my wife. Okay, I love to get off, and I can make sure she does too. Trust me about that, fellas. So he's just really, the whole entire narrative of Sickles is based on this emotion. Oh, guys, trust me, ladies like me, guys. And it's like, you know, it's just soft, and guys buy into that, dude. So I know I'm being judgy in saying that, but it's like, come on, dude. So Sickles, after talking to his friends and after procuring this letter, happens to be walking along the street and sees Key, dude, this bro. It's tough to have a name like Key for this story. It's like, does he see a set of keys? But he sees Philip Key. He sees Key just walking on the square, southeast corner of Pennsylvania Ave, dude, across from the president's mansion. Maybe you heard of it, dude. White House, dude. Sickles freaking rapidly approaches Key, dude. Okay, shouting at him, Key, you scoundrel, you've dishonored my house, you must die. And then Sickles produces a gun and fires it at close range. The first shot only grazed Key, and the two men began struggling, dude. Key reached into his pocket and flung his opera glasses at Sickles. You know when a dude's throwing a pair of opera glasses in a fight, it's not going to be a skilled fight, all right? I do love that the dude cruises around with opera glasses, though. That's a freaking sign of just straight up freaking eruditeness, dude. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's a sign of freaking intellectual prowess right there, dude. Oh, just carrying opera glasses.
Just carrying those around?
Yeah, just cruising around with them. Cruising around 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, dude. Just cruising with opera. It's like, Sickles has a gun. Dude, most people, I think, just carry guns during this time. It's like, come on, dude. At least carry a cane or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe he's like, maybe this is not part of the story that we don't know, but maybe he's a bit of a peeping Tom.
You know what?
Walking around with opera glasses.
Not wrong. Maybe trying to get a spy on what good old, actually, this might be before Abe Lincoln's time. Who was right before Abe Lincoln? Andrew Johnson was after. Was it Buchanan?
I think it's
Probably
Buchanan,
just
yeah.
Buchanan. Yeah, probably trying to get a spy on what Buchanan was up to in that house, dude. So
Yeah, what's he hiding in those
Yeah,
mutton chops?
exactly, dude, exactly right. Dude, I actually was gonna bring this up later. You know, sideburns, it comes from, a lot of terminology comes from Civil War times. Sideburns got their name from General Burnside. He was a Union general, and he had huge, huge chops on the side of his cheeks. And so they call him Burnsides, and then it later just sort of devolved into sideburns. Isn't that sick?
Wow.
And there's also General Hooker, a Union general, enjoyed ladies of the night, and he enjoyed them so much and so notoriously that prostitutes became known as hookers.
Wow.
So they'd be, oh, those are some of Hooker's women. Oh, those are hookers. That's where the term came from.
Wow.
Interesting fact. So yeah, dude, this guy flings his opera glasses. If it was me, I'd fling my tack glasses. So I guess I can't hate too much, dude. Anyways, dude, Sickles fires another bullet, and it hits him below the groin. So maybe he was trying to send a message with that one. Key falls to the ground, and as Sickles pulls the trigger again, it misfires. He's going for the kill. So he shot him twice now. Mind you, I've already hinted a little bit at what Sickles gets off on. So Sickles cocks the gun yet again, places it on Key's chest, and fired. This time the bullet entered below Key's heart. Key slumped backwards as Sickles put the gun to Key's head. Again, it misfires. He's going to go shoot him 4 times now. He's tried to shoot him 5 times. Since the altercation occurred in broad daylight in front of numerous witnesses and bystanders, they now moved between the two former friends. So Sickles stood unapologetically with the gun and asked, "Is the scoundrel dead?" And then Sickles was led away. Sickles then surrenders himself, informing his wife what he had done, and he's led off to jail. So,
quick sidebar.
mhm.
Is this with a revolver, like a more modern Colt type revolver, or is he stopping and filling the chamber with gunpowder and?
Yeah, he says he brandishes a. Dang, I rewrote it. A gun and fired, but it's a weird type of gun. It's for sure like a. I think it's like one of those little like 2-shot things.
Oh,
it's
like a Derringer?
Yeah, like a Derringer. It's a Derringer. That's exactly what he had. So it's a tiny little gun.
So he might still have to reload, but not as intricately as a colonial ball and musket sort of gun.
Yeah, it's not as bad as one of those, and it's not as like easy as like a Colt revolver, like a 6-shooter. Because a 6-shooter, he would have just probably kept unloading at him.
Yeah.
But he's got this little Derringer that he's shooting at him, misfiring, and then having to reload it, reset it, all the while like Key is on the ground, like sort of writhing in pain. And so, yeah, great question here. Should have specified that earlier. That's why you're a freaking legend, dude. Beasting, dude.
Well, so it's just hard to plead insanity, temporary insanity, if you're meticulously reloading a gun.
Correct. And it's hard to plead temporary insanity when you had your wife already write a letter so you could use it as evidence in your case, knowing what you were going to do. That's a sign of premeditation, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So here, basically what it ends up happening is Sickles he's boys with James Buchanan. He works in the political scene. He gets all the great lawyers. The state, has to go through the trial and everything. But in the court of public opinion, this is the true sick part. Everyone knows that temporary insanity is BS. Like, this happened in broad daylight. There are tons of witnesses. They all saw it. But the jury and everyone sides with Sickles because they say, oh, he had a right to defend his honor when his wife shamed him like that. So, and basically, famously, cucked him, I guess you could say. People don't like that word. Don't worry, I list this as explicit. And anyways, if you're into that sort of thing and it's consensual, then you're into that thing. I'm not going to hate on it. But Dan Sickles didn't like it. And frickin' the frickin' court, what do they call it? The court of public opinion? The court of public opinion basically says, yep, we're going to recognize temporary insanity just because we didn't like that Teresa, Sickles' wife, shamed him like that. And he had the right to go and seek retribution like that. And so he gets off. And so that's why on the Civil War battlefield, everyone was like, this general, Dan Sickles, is like famous because it's like, oh my gosh, that's the dude who murdered someone and got away with it in broad daylight. That's incredible. And what's even a better footnote to this story is that 3 months later, Sickles and Teresa, and remember earlier I questioned, I was like, maybe they are in love. I don't get it, but probably not. But they get back together, dude. 3 months later, Teresa and Sickles. And then everyone turns on Sickles and they're like, what are you doing? You're getting back, you're forgiving her? How dare you forgive someone for doing that? And so then the opinion on Sickles completely shifts and he starts to be ousted by people in the DC political scene and like all of his friends, and he like can't go out anywhere to dinner or anything like that. And it's like, dude, it just made me think like, no wonder a war's coming, dude. What's everyone thinking? Like, no one's giving anyone any leeway. You can't forgive someone. No one's allowed to change opinions ever, like change their mind, or like new information's not allowed to come about. It's like, no, this is the way you feel. And if you switch anything up, you're done, you're toast, get out. And I'm not like I'm having Sickles' back here, but it's like, come on, people. Like, what's the...
Yeah, there's still a deep thing about that with Hillary.
Dude,
taking back Bill.
Totally. It still exists to this day. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And, you know, I'm not pandering here. I'm like, I've got a GF. I'm a taken man. But it's like, it's tough being a lady, dude. It's like, Teresa gets no love, dude. She ends up getting sick later and dying. Spoiler alert, dude. So her life was not that chill. So it's just tough, man. And dudes are allowed to go out and be chillers and womanize. And as long as they appear right and have a wife, then it's okay politically. But, you know, a lady goes out and tries to get herself a bone and everything blows up, man. Some dude is allowed to murder someone. Imagine if the roles were reversed. If Teresa murdered any woman that Sickles slept with, what would happen? She'd be in jail.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And then now we get into the Civil War era. So that's why Sickles is famous. That's why he's most known in the annals of history, dude. For being the first guy to ever get off and basically have temporary insanity invented so that he could get off. Sickles, but he's down and out, dude, because he took his wife back. People don't like him. So what's he going to do? He's an opportunist, dude. This guy, he'd have a killer Instagram account today, dude. The guy's rebranding himself, dude. There's this dude I went to high school named Aaron. Aaron, great name, right? This dude reinvented himself as Jake. He thought it was more badass. Got into like muscle cars and 80s music. I don't know. Would you upgrade your name from Aaron to Jake?
No. I feel like in my 20s I realized, I probably could have shortened it and gone with Ron. But why?
Yeah.
I'm not somebody's stepdad.
That's a fire call, Aaron. Ron is 100% stepdad name. Zero questions about that. Ron is the guy who's going to go pick up like a troubled teenager at a party who like decided not to drink and got ousted from her friends that night in like an Oxygen movie or something like that. And she's like, oh, Ron's going to be here and pick me up. Who's Ron? Is it your boyfriend? It's my stepdad. Oh yeah, makes sense. Fire call, dude. So, I mean, sometimes reinventing works though. For Jake, dude got sick. He got jacked. I guess sometimes whatever it takes to reinvent yourself, that's the move, you know? If it's a name change, go for it. People do it in Hollywood all the time. You know, Robert Zimmerman, Bob Dylan. I guess it works. In any case, Sickles keeps the name because Sickles, I mean, hates me to say it, is a sick name. And he goes, you know what, dude, this war coming up, I need to become a general. Mind you, the guy's got zero military background. But this is something that you could do at this time. You could go out and look, it was Lincoln's, quote, unpopular war, and he needed support for it. And so Lincoln, if you had the means to raise a brigade, which he does, Sickles and his buddy, he teams up with a dude who's pretty wealthy, and they raise an army of 3,000 dudes out of New York State. They call it the Excelsior Brigade, after New York State motto, ever upward. And Lincoln legitimizes it, dude. So these are Sickles becomes a brigadier general essentially over a few months, whereas other people got to go to West Point and learn field tactics. And you are going to learn very soon that even if Sickles did know field tactics, it would not matter because he was seeking to reinvent himself. He was going for glory. He was going for the name. So going back to Matt Kant, who wrote in, he says, Basically, Sickles was a general for the Union Army during the Civil War, and he single-handedly almost lost the entire war for the Union, because what he did here is at the Battle of Gettysburg, which was like the major turning point for the war. This was like the high point for the Confederate Army, and then, you know, it was freaking General Meade, dude, going off against Robert E. Lee, dude. And, you know, basically, Matt writes that because Sickles got bored, and I'll get into this a little more, during the Battle of Gettysburg, he was ordered by General Meade to take control of Little Round Top, the hill that oversaw the whole battlefield. Whoever controlled that hill would have won the battle because of the artillery advantage, would wipe out the opposing forces. And you're probably asking yourself, well, how come Robert E. Lee wouldn't go up there? And Lee's subordinates did urge him to take that decisive top, but Lee famously declined, saying, and I quote, "No, the enemy is there. I'm going to attack him there." So ego was once again downfall. The decision lost the battle for the Confederates on day 2, although Sickles almost did Lee a favor and said, you know what, dude, I might help you guys out here. I might freaking, hold on, guys, pause it up. I got to take this call real quick. Hello?
Hello, this is Spectrum. Para Español, marque ocho.
Nah, dude, I'm not going to hit.
Your technician, Cesar, is en route to your appointment. We look forward to handling your internet voice and video needs.
Hell yes.
Goodbye.
Lit. Getting stuff done. You see that? Caesar's on the way. I'm fired up. I am fired up, dude. So let's get into a little bit of Gettysburg. 3-day battle, dude. Ironically, takes place July 1 through 3 to July 4, dude. What up? When Dan Sickles famously did not toast the Queen of England in another little famous date you might never heard of called Independence Day. So on day 1, dude, the Confederates are pushing through federal lines, dude, scoring fat victories, bro. Luckily, this freaking General Hancock, dude, the Superb was his name. He did great like rear guard action and basically deployed the Union soldiers properly into strong defensive positions, enabling Commander Meade to come and take over. He was on his way there. I think like General... I think it might have been General Hooker, who was in control of the Army of the Potomac, which was like the main Union Army, gets replaced. And then like 3 generals went through that. And then Lincoln finally lands on Meade. And people didn't like Meade, but he ended up being the dude. And second, day 2 is like the big decisive day. There's the assault on Little Round Top and, you know, a lot of heavy Confederate assaults. Day 3 it's Pickett's charge, last-ditch attempt. Apparently, though, in the morning, Lee did want to flank, but there was this other general who was being a total shmole for the Confederates, thankfully, like going on like a super long, like heroic cavalry, like wide right wheel maneuver for a flank, and was late getting back to position. And it forced Lee's hand to be like, you know what, we're just going to have to go up the middle now and tank them. And then Meade even consulted his generals because day 2 was so bloody and bad. He's like, should we retreat and fight somewhere else? And Meade's subordinates were just like, nah, you know what? Let's stay here. Let's fight this out. I think we can do it. And so they secured like their artillery positions, really focused them on the center. So had Lee been able to maybe do that flank, it could have worked out differently. But Jeb Stuart was the name of the dude who was the shmole for the Confederates, by the way, the cavalry shmole. And the rest is history, dude. Pickett's charge and stuff, and they get freaking drilled. But Sickles, on day 2, Little Round Top, decides he's up there, dude. He's consulting with Meade. Like, he's sending, like, correspondence back and forth around, like, 11 a.m. that day. He's like, should I go forward or should I not go forward? And Meade's like, why are you asking me if you should go forward, dude? I've told you, just hold that hill. Just post up there, take your 3,000 men, and just post up on that hill and watch that flank. That's all you need to do. Why are you even asking if you need to go do something else, is what Meade's thinking right now. But sure enough, there's freaking, I think General Longstreet's coming through. He sees like a freaking Sickles sees like some maneuvering down at like this peach orchard, and he's like, they're attacking. But really, like, Longstreet was like just going to maneuver to watch the flank as well on his side. And freaking Sickles goes, charge, dude, let's go. And he just basically barrels down there. They go fight in this peach orchard and like occupy all this time. And they're losing, by the way, down there. Which sucks, dude. If you're a soldier, think about this. You're just got to be held at the whim of some general who's not even a general. And you're just like, all right, I'm going to go die now because this dude wants to go have glory for himself. Meanwhile, leaving the most important strategic position. And
yeah, you're at the whim of a guy who has bouts of of temporary insanity.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah, dude, hopefully our general doesn't go temporarily insane during this battle. And guess what? He does, dude. And he leaves, and like, I don't know if you've seen the movie with Gettysburg with like freaking, is it Jeff Daniels or Jeff Bridges that's in that? I think it's Jeff Daniels.
I think it's Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, legit actor. Freaking love Jeff Daniels. There's like the Maine company that's up there, and they do this like, it's like a super famous holding of the hill of Little Round Top, and the Confederates are just pelting them, but they've got the strategic position, so they're able to hold it. But it comes down to them being like, dude, we're out of ammo. Hopefully we've done enough damage to the Confederates, because if they regroup, they're for sure going to overtake us. And they just do this charge with bayonets out, and they end up like taking out the Confederates and holding the hill, and like the strategic portion of the hill that they were watching. Meanwhile, Sickles is out there dicking around in the peach orchard, dude, fighting Longstreet. And Sickles, to the day he died, says Meade supported his charge because he sent reinforcements to that left flank. But really, Sickles was just being a shmole because he forced Meade's hand to send soldiers there, which could have been at the center and doing other things where they should have been. But he had to go and send these soldiers out there to make sure they didn't lose that position. And Sickles goes, oh no, dude, you wouldn't have sent reinforcements if you didn't think that I should have gone out there in the field. Like, why would you have sent more troops? You were just backing up my good call. And he's like, no, dude, it's not backing up your good call. It's backing up your bad call and making sure it didn't go from bad to worst. Unbelievable, dude. But, you know, there are people that will say at the end of the day, you know, for as much as a shmole that he was, like, in a renob, like, the Union won that battle. He kept Longstreet's Confederate soldiers busy who could have gone and done something else. That's something that we'll never know. But what we do know is that, you know, Sickles basically went against orders to go down there. And then at 6 p.m. that night, Dan Sickles has one of the worst, or depending how you look at it, best things happen to him. He was trying to rally some troops and get him into position, and a Confederate artillery shell frickin' goes into his leg on it while he's on his horse, and frickin' Dan Sickles' leg gets amputated. And so he then claims that he's a hero of the Battle of Gettysburg. You know, he got his Purple Heart. You know, he defended Little Round Top, even though he did it all wrong, and almost lost the battle for the entire Union Army, and could have changed the course of the war. But dude, he goes on to take the self-acclaimed title of Hero of Gettysburg, War Hero. He goes on and like puts a ton of monuments at Gettysburg, and like he actually did. Dan Sickles did like found Central Park. He like did help form the Panama Canal, like early stages of it, and he did like fight to preserve Gettysburg battlefield because of like how momentous it was, and like for all the soldiers that lost their lives there. But was it really about his glory because he loved to go there? No one loved more than Dan Sickles to go there and be like, yeah, I fought here, lost my leg here. He even donated his leg to a museum, which is amazing. And Mark Twain met Sickles in later years, and he drew the astute observation of Sickles, and I'm quoting, he said, Sickles valued the leg he lost more than the one he's got, and I'm sure if he had to part with one, he would prefer to lose the one he still has. So just goes to, I mean, Mark Twain, freaking wizard with words, just puts it perfectly. So gold. There's actually no monument to Dan Sickles at Gettysburg, although you could claim that the entire monument is Sickles since he put it there and he went there and told stories. And the best part is, dude, is that Sickles' best war buddy was no Union general and nobody on his side, because they all know that he was like a bonehead shmole. It was actually Longstreet, the dude on the other Confederate side, because he got he was like really what's it called, like scrutinized for his actions that day. So both Sickles and Longstreet loved to tell their war stories and became buddies, and would be like, no, we both did the right thing, because if he didn't do that, then there's no question I for sure would have done that and then had the Union. So Sickles made a good call, and then Sickles would be like, yeah, I mean, I pulled my guys there, and so I mean, a lesser smart general probably wouldn't have done what Longstreet did. So good thing that he did that for his guys on that day. So for sure, we did the right thing, both of us. Good stuff. And you know, everyone hearing the stories is none the wiser, so they're going to buy into it. you just got to imagine some other veterans who were in part of that battle just being like, you mother effers. Unfreaking believable, dude. Just freaking being schmoles over at Cemetery Ridge, dude, and in the peach orchard. Very, very unchill. So actually, so I mean, that basically says all you need to know about Dan Sickles. Later in life, you know, he goes on, like I said, becomes a New York state politician and found Central Park, and he actually was a diplomat in Spain for a while, and he had an affair with the Queen of Spain and her housekeeper. So the guy just keeps getting it done throughout his entire life.
While married to a baby, or?
So Teresa passes away, and so he's not married at that time, but he's supposedly in a relationship with the Queen of Spain, and then, you know, he's got his housekeeper who maybe she was married, I don't know, and wouldn't stop him, you know. So honestly, it makes me want to pick up the book, American Scoundrel. It looks pretty interesting. So this guy Sickles, you know, he has an impact on society. You look at it now, it just says American politician when you look at him, but you look a little closer, pretty crazy. Oh, even Matt Kant put this in here, and this is pretty great. He says that Longstreet was because like I mentioned earlier, Matt, who reached out to me to share this story, is a descendant of Dan Sickles. Who knows how? There's probably a lot of ways the guy got around. And sorry if that's insensitive, Matt. But Matt's buddy on his middle school football team, his center, is a descendant of Longstreet's. So, you know, had things gone differently, we wouldn't have had either of those dudes. And Matt says that his middle school football team wouldn't have definitely not gone undefeated that season. So, you know, there's a silver lining to everything. Got to find a positive, little bit of stoke in anything, you know, if you can. So, you know, quality middle school football outing and lifelong friendship. That's pretty sick. Cool, dude. So that's the freaking story of the American Scoundrel, freaking Dan Sickles, dude. Aaron, what do you think?
I mean, it's crazy. So Teresa was the baby at one point.
Teresa was a baby. So when Dan Sickles, his parents had him go live with the NYU professor to go learn and study and probably get into like NYU later.
Yeah.
That professor was also boarding a family, which was, I guess, common at that time. If you had extra space, you could rent out a room or whatever. Was renting out a room to the Bagiolis, and they had an infant daughter named Teresa. And then Dan Sickles imprinted on her frickin' Jacob Twilight style on frickin' Bella's baby, and later married her when she was like 16, 17. Probably got her pregnant at 16.
Yeah. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. So he was 20 when she was a baby.
That's so nuts.
Crazy. The guy.
You got folks listening. Look at a photo of him, and you can see it in his face.
Dude, you can. Dude, Aaron, that's a great call. I love that you looked at you can see. And look, I don't want to bash. I'm sure he was like, he had to have been like a charming personality and just like a total. He had to have had a way with words and manipulation and people, because he's not a hot dude.
No.
You know what I mean? And then the guy's having an affair with the Queen of Spain. He's got one leg at that time. Who wants to, I'm not hating on dudes with one leg, but I'm like, he must have had a Maurice-sized hog that he could have posted up on that other leg, you know? Must have had a spare one going around, because, I don't know, man.
His military nickname, Devil Dan?
Great nickname.
Wow.
Yep, Devil Dan, dude. American Scoundrel. Dan Sickles. Crazy story. The guy was a liver of life. He was out for good old number one, as they say. Let's take a few questions and hop out, dude. I wanted to share this after our Little League one. This dude, Dylan McGee, wrote in and he said, "Yo, dog, listen to the pod a lot right now, and I had to share with you my story." I know it's a little late, and we record a little bit ahead, but it's always good to get a fire Little League story in here. We were just talking youth football, why not? It was the bottom of the 10th inning of the semifinals. Yes, 10th inning where games are normally six innings. Crazy, dude. I was 10 years old. We had a scrub pitching because we literally went through everyone. There was 2 outs and the runner on second base, and the best hitter, also the coach's dad, that probably means coach's son, and founder of Jamba Juice. His team always got Jamba Juice after the game, so everyone on the other team hated them. That's true. If I saw the other team getting Jamba Juice, I'd be freaking so jelly. So that kid was up at the plate. He hits a line drive to the left center gap at the bottom, and the runner from second scores. But the coach's son was the first base coach. Before the hitter reached first base, he picked his son up and gave him a huge hug. I was playing first base, and my dad was the coach. He was yelling at my team to throw the ball, so they threw me the ball and I touched the first base, and technically he was out and the run didn't score. The Jamba Juice team starts crying, and my dad felt terrible for taking the game too seriously and gave them the win. I never forgave my dad for being such a nice guy.
Yeah.
He showed good sportsmanship. I mean, that's what Little League's about.
Yeah, but touch all the bases.
I mean, there's rules for a reason. Am I right?
Yeah. One of my teammates was a big kid, and he slugged 1 home run, and as he got to the plate, he just did a little like leg squiggle, and missed home, and the other team tagged the base, and they took it away from him.
Dude, that's gnarly. That's so gnarly. Yeah, I mean, these are life lessons. You can't, in life, no one's going to say, oh, you messed up a little bit. You got a little cute. It's okay. We'll give it back to you. You don't have to pay rent this month. No. Life lessons are learned on the diamond.
Well,
and those lessons are precious as a diamond.
And if the dad picked him up before he got to first, that's on the dad, and the dad should take that.
That's true. That's an adult intervening, which is the problem with Little League in the first place. Too much adult intervention.
100%.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm with you 100%. Quick question here. Strider, can I please remain anonymous? Volcom or Billabong? What's danker? Go. Okay. I love that he wants me to remain anonymous for that. Maybe his boys are hard on her, or maybe he's like doing a product assessment. I don't know. I mean, dude, Volcom seems edgier. I feel like it was the first actual skate company, whereas like Billabong was surf, then did skate stuff. But I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, I posted up in thick cord Volcom shorts. Thick cord Billabong shorts. So although Volcom, I feel like is edgier and cooler, I don't think I have the authenticity to wear it all the time, even though I am currently wearing Volcom shorts. I got to go with Billabong. I thought it was danker. I liked their designs. I love the cords. Aaron, you got a take on that?
I'm with you on that. I've never been a huge fan of Volcom, the logo in general.
Yeah.
Billabong just seems classic.
It does. Yes, it's sick. It's Australian. I think Billabong is a lagoon or something. I think it has.
It's fun. It's more fun to say.
It's way
Volcom, for sure.
Billabong's a great word to say. Billabong. Freaking just get hotbox with your boys and just say that. Be fun to do. Let's do one more. Peace out. What up, Lord Strider, king of the dankest region in all of dankdom, prophet of the god of dankness, and he who strides the dankest. Dude, that's amazing. I need to... Honestly, if there's no question after that, if I just wrote that myself right now, that'd be hilarious. Love hearing you killing it on the pod every week. Thank you, my dude. I'm a bread vendor for grocery stores, so I'm mainly working by myself and probably sound like Joaquin Phoenix and Joker when I randomly just burst out laughing. Dude, fired up. Dude, laugh. Dude, you put the pod on. You got headphones on. People know that you're crushing something on that. If anyone's judging that, dude, that's on them. Would love to hear an ep on the history of movie production. That's a good call. So just a suggestion here. Also, I know you probably have a lot of stokers and dank dudes on your friends list, but if you want to go to the zone with a war boy, my name is Equestrian Wiener. Horse dong. That's hilarious, dude. Colin, legend, dude. Just bringing it. What a beast, dude. Stoked that dudes like Colin are listening. Yeah, dude, I'm down to drop. I haven't been playing as much lately, but I'm down. Equestrian Wiener, dude. Look out for me, dude. Strider is dank. I'm on there. Yeah, dude, history of movie production, we should do it, Go from silent film to the talkies to the 70s when they're making edgy stuff, and then maybe we should just look at how culture dictates what you can get away with in film. I don't know. Aaron, I feel like you're more well versed on that than I am. I'd have to do some studying up.
Yeah. I mean, I went to film school, so I know a little bit about it. I mean, there is some fascinating elements of why they picked LA and to make the hub of everything. That'd
be a good episode. Just why film production in LA. Now it's moving out too, so it'd sort of be topical. Productions are in Atlanta and Vancouver. Maybe there's tax breaks there, but sounds sick, dude. All right, fired up, guys. Stay stoked, stay dank. Don't be scoundrels, be chillers. And email me. Check it out on YouTube too. Email me suggestions because I'll do episodes on it like I just did. StriderWilsonTreads@gmail.com, and stay stoked, dude. And then here's the poof. All right, dude. Lit.